You might as well shoot the Springfield, Wilson said. You're used to it. We'll leave the Mannlicher in the car with the Mem Sahib. Your gunbearer can carry your heavy gun. I've this damned cannon. Now let me tell you about them. He had saved this until the last because he did not want to worry Macomber. When a buff comes, he comes with his head high and thrust straight out. The boss of the horns covers any sort of a brain shot. The only shot is straight into the nose. The only other shot is into his chest or, if you're to one side, into the neck or the shoulders. After they've been hit once, they take a hell of a lot of killing. Don't try anything fancy. Take the easiest shot there is. They've finished skinning out that head now. Should we get started? He called to the gunbearers, who came up wiping their hands, and the older one got into the back. I'll only take Kongoni, Wilson said. The other can watch to keep the birds away. As the car moved slowly across the open space toward the island of brushy trees that ran in a tongue of foliage along a dry watercourse that cut the open swale, Macomber felt his heart pounding and his mouth was dry again, but it was excitement, not fear. Here's where he went in, Wilson said. Then to the gunbearer in Swahili, take the blood spoor. The car was parallel to the patch of bush. Macomber, Wilson and the gunbearer got down. Macomber, looking back, saw his wife, with a rifle by her side, looking at him. He waved to her and she did not wave back. The brush was very thick ahead and the ground was dry. The middle-aged gunbearer was sweating heavily and Wilson had his hat down over his eyes and his red neck showed just ahead of Macomber. Suddenly the gunbearer said something in Swahili to Wilson and ran forward. He's dead in there, Wilson said. Good work, and he turned to grip Macomber's hand and as they shook hands, grinning at each other, the gunbearer shouted wildly and they saw him coming out of the bush sideways, fast as a crab, and the bull coming, nose out, mouth tight closed, blood dripping, missive head straight out, coming in a charge, his little pig eyes bloodshot as he looked at them. Wilson, who was ahead, was kneeling shooting, and Macomber, as he fired, unhearing his shot in the roaring of Wilson's gun, saw fragments like slate burst from the huge boss of the horns, and the head jerked. He shot again at the wide nostrils and saw the horns jolt again and fragment fly, and he did not see Wilson now and, aiming carefully, shot again with the buffalo's huge bulk almost on him and his rifle almost level with the oncoming head, nose out, and he could see the little wicked eyes. And the head started to lower and he felt a sudden white-hot, blinding flash explode inside his head, and that was all he ever felt. Wilson had ducked to one side to get in a shoulder shot. Macomber had stood solid and shot for the nose, shooting a touch high each time and hitting the heavy horns, splintering and chipping them like hitting a slate roof, and Mrs. Macomber, in the car, had shot at the buffalo with the 6.5 Mannlicher as it seemed about to gore Macomber and had hit her husband about 2 inches up and a little to one side of the base of his skull. Francis Macomber lay now, face down, not 2 yards from where the buffalo lay on his side, and his wife knelt over him with Wilson beside her. I wouldn't turn him over, Wilson said. The woman was crying hysterically. I'd get back in the car, Wilson said. Where's the rifle? She shook her head, her face contorted. The gunbearer picked up the rifle. Leave it as it is, said Wilson. Then, go get Abdullah so that he may witness the manner of the accident. He knelt down, took a handkerchief from his pocket, and spread it over Francis Macomber's cropped head where it lay. The blood sunk into the dry, loose earth. Wilson stood up and saw the buffalo on his side, his legs out, his thinly haired belly crawling with ticks. Hell of a good bull, his brain registered automatically. A good 50 inches, or better. Better. He called to the driver and told him to spread a blanket over the body and stay by it. Then he walked over to the motor car where the woman sat crying in the corner. That was a pretty thing to do, he said in a toneless voice. He would have left you too. Stop it, she said. Of course it's an accident, he said. I know that. Stop it, she said. Don't worry, he said. There will be a certain amount of unpleasantness, but I will have some photographs taken that will be very useful at the inquest. There's the testimony of the gun bearer and the driver too. You're perfectly all right. Stop it, she said. There's a hell of a lot to be done, he said. And I'll have to send a truck off to the lake to Wireless for a plane to take the three of us into Nairobi. Why didn't you poison him? That's what they do in England. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it, the woman cried. Wilson looked at her with his flat blue eyes. I'm through now, he said. I was a little angry. I'd begun to like your husband. Oh, please stop it, she said. Please stop it. That's better, Wilson said. Please is much better. Now I'll stop. The end. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.